The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marco Muscovich.
Marco Muscovich is registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004, and at Wealth Strategy Partners, 677 Ala Moana Boulevard, Suite 720, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations.
And now your host, Marco Muscovich.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marco Muscovich, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., 760 a.m. KGU or 95.1 FM. Two frequency, just in case, make sure that we cover everybody so everybody can hear our show and listen to our guests and their stories, because what we do here is we bring the business owners into our show every week and we talk about their business, how they started their business, and why they started their business, what's most important. Today is nothing different. We have a guest. We're going to introduce our guest in just a second. But before we go into the show for today, let me remind you about businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Businessexitplanninghawaii.com is the website where you can go and learn about exit planning. What is exit planning? 7-step process that we implement in a process of exit planning. There's a lot of resources and reading material on this website. So I'm encouraging you, if you're a business owner and you want to get out of the business in one point in the future, and you want to minimize your tax liability and maximize the sale price, check us out, businessexitplanninghawaii.com, businessexitplanninghawaii.com, also hawaiimoneyresource.com. So a lot of learning a lot of learning material for you online. Now let's go and introduce our guest for today, Loren Shoop, founder of ʻUlu Manu Hawaii. ʻUlu Manu Hawaii. Did I say that right?
Yeah, ʻUlu Mana.
ʻUlu Mana, Hawaii. Loren, welcome to Hawaii Money Resource. Why don't you give us just a 30 seconds overview of ʻUlu Mana Hawaii?
ʻUlu Mana Hawaii is a company based here in Honolulu where we make products out of breadfruit. So we're trying to make products that people are familiar with, like hummus. That's our number one product, which is called Hawaiian hummus. And we also make ʻUlu chips, too. That's our main two products at the moment. But again, we're just trying to make products out of locally grown breadfruit.
I'm going to ask you in a little bit, like, where is this idea coming from with the breadfruit? Did you just, like, one day come across this breadfruit and say, wow, we can use this for making that? Yeah. But we're going to talk about it in a second segment and a third segment of today's show. But before we go into the business part of our show, I would like you to tell a little bit about yourself.
So again, name is Loren Shoop. I was born and raised over on the island of Hawaii, over in Kona. Graduated from Kealakahe High School. My mother is actually from there as well too. She was born and raised there. She went to Kona Waina. My entire family that I'm close with, they're all over on the Big Island. They still live there. We come from a fishing family where my grandpa, actually, his name was George Parker. He started the sports fishing over in Kona, so he helped to get Honokaha Harbor going. He was getting the billfish tournaments going over there. He proved that there was blue marlin in the Pacific. So we're definitely a fishing family. And his sons, one of them actually named Marlin, named after one of the marlins he caught. And they still fish to this day, almost every single day. So again, fishing family, born and raised in Kona. And that's where I was. I did actually a short stint over here. I went to Punahou for a year and a half. I went there for my junior year and then halfway through my senior year of high school. Then I actually went back to the Big Island to graduate. And then after that, I went over to San Diego. So I spent 3 years in San Diego after high school and then kind of getting ahead of myself.
For schooling or just like to experience life?
It was kind of, well, both would be the answer to that. But I went there just because, you're born and raised in Hawaii, or especially the Big Island, your two options is either one, go to the Oahu, which is a fine option, or your other option is go to the mainland. And most of the kids that grew up in Big Island, they usually go to the West Coast. Or I guess kids growing in Hawaii in general go to the West Coast. So that's what I did. I chose that option. I went to San Diego. I went with a bunch of my best friends. There was like 6 of us. We got a house together, kind of experienced it. We didn't really know. We're just from a small town on the Big Island. Not used to like highways or anything like that. Just one lane this way, one lane that way. So it was a great experience. And the plan was go to school, do, junior college, save some money, then transfer to a university and get some kind of degree in something. And at the time, too, I was really into baseball. So the plan was to also play baseball. That's probably the number one reason why I went to college. But unfortunately, I did not make the team that I was trying out for. And then just me being me, I just wasn't really into school. I was one of those guys that was like, oh, just let me out, man. I can do it. Just let me go do my thing. Like, I want to get out of here. I want to go start something. I don't know what it is, but I want to go start it. So that's kind of what I was thinking as an 18-year-old.
So there is a definition of that. It's called entrepreneur.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, basically I had that running through my blood. So I didn't last in school. It was kind of funny, but I actually failed Intro to Marketing, and I took 15 credits, only finished 12 of them, and I was just one semester I was just done. I just didn't want to do it anymore. It wasn't me.
So hearing what you say, the first question for you will be, how come you're not in a fishing business?
I did a lot of fishing when I was a kid, especially with like my friends. Like they would have small 20-foot boats, and we'd go diving and fishing and just spearing and all types of things, and that was really, really fun. But I do get seasick, so that didn't really help very much, and I don't know. Just didn't work out, I guess.
You wanted something else.
Yeah, I wanted something else. Entrepreneur,
more.
Yeah. So
sounds good. So I guess sports were one thing that you were doing before. What is your hobbies right now?
Right now, I'm definitely in the water as much as possible. Well, I should say I'm doing business a lot, every single day. I'm just trying to build the business. But if not, hobbies are definitely surfing. I love to go to Sandy's. For example, I just did the Sandy's body surf contest about a month ago. Didn't do well at all, but it was fun.
At least you participated.
Yeah, I participated. Yes, I did that. And then, surfing, bodyboard, body surf, any kind of water activity. I also love driving, like just driving cars in general. So I'm a car guy for sure. So I've always tend to like buy and sell cars and play with them, get another one, buy it back, do this, do that. So I mess with cars a lot too. That's a big thing, yeah.
Next question for you, while we're still on this personal topic, what brought you back?
Back to Hawaii?
Yeah, since you were there for a while, so.
Well, like I said, I was born and raised here. I really didn't find the mainland as a good fit for myself. Well, again, I was in California, and I was also underage too. I think if I would have moved there when I was later on in life, like late 20s, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more because I could go to bars and do things. But I was there from an 18-year-old to barely 21, so I just didn't really fit for me. I didn't like the environment as far as like the actual. I thought California was cold. I had to wear pants. It just was not my style. So I mean, I never owned a pair of jeans in my life until I moved to San Diego. So and then I had to wear a jacket, and that just wasn't cool. And it just didn't work for me. As like just the actual literal environment. I just didn't really like. The water was freezing cold, in my opinion. Had to wear a wetsuit. That wasn't cutting it. But the number one reason I would say, besides all that, was that like I said, I really wanted to start something and do something. And if I were to have done that up in California, I would have had to stay there for 5 to 10 years at least, get something off the ground.
You coming back.
Yeah, so exactly. I was like, nope, that ain't happening. I do not see myself here for 5 years. I really want to start something. So I want to go back to Hawaii as soon as possible. And I thought Big Island wasn't really the place for me at the time. So Oahu, obviously a lot more going on, a lot more business. So this is where I ended up.
So now you're in a business. You're running the business daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to build it because we'll talk about there's a couple of things going on in your life right now. And Ulamanu, Hawaii is one. So how do you balance? Before it was kind of all fun and nice, but now it's just, it's business, right? So you need to dedicate time, effort, money. So how do you balance your personal time and your business time?
Well, I would definitely say I wouldn't say the balance is good, put it that way. If you look at me and you're like, wow, he's working all the time. One, I would never say I work. I don't work. I just do. I wake up and I do whatever I want to do all day, every day. So that's the way I view it. So if you looked at me, it's like, wow, Loren, you work all the time. I'm like, I don't work at all. I just get up and do whatever I want.
Is it because you're not going to work for someone? You're actually doing something that you want to do. You started something new. So it's not work. It's practically hobby.
Yeah. So if you ask me, what is my hobby? My hobby's business. That would be more of a correct answer. So like today, I drop McNuts off to a restaurant. I send a bunch of emails to like Foodland and places like this, just following up with a lot of people. But to me, that's fun. I like doing this. I like building business and talking and doing those types of activities. So if you looked at me from the outside, like I don't really have balance per se. I just do business stuff all day. But to me, that's just what I want to do. So I'm just like, so every day to me is like awesome. Like I get to wake up and do what I want to do. So it's great. But I do take Sundays off though. So Sunday is like my day where no emails, no calls. I don't want to deal with anyone's little problems. Like if a major thing happens, of course, but if it's a little problem, I don't want to deal with it. So Sunday is like my day where I can be with my friends, girlfriend, just go do, go surf or just wake up late and go, to brunch or whatever. So Sunday is like my day off, and I need that because I don't really want to work, quotation marks, 14 days in a row. I want to take a break and then start again on Monday, work through Saturday, break, and then do another week. And that keeps me sane. So that's my balance, is taking Sunday off.
Word of wisdom is in order to keep yourself sane, make a break. Don't work all the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Loren, I appreciate you sharing all this with us. Sounds interesting, and I know more is coming. We're going to take our first break for today. Today's guest is Loren Shoop, founder of ʻUlu Manu Hawaii, ulumanuhawaii.com. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijušković. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
Hey, sweetie, what's going on?
Well, honey, I have some news.
Okay, what?
All that training paid off. I got the job.
Oh, I knew you would get it. So when do you start?
When you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Right now, Doctors Without Borders medical teams are operating in some of the most remote and dangerous corners of the world. When front yards become front lines, when disaster erupts, when disease rages, when communities collapse under crisis, at the crossroads of conflict, an epidemic, where there are no hospitals. That's where we operate. We go where conditions are the worst because that's where we're needed most. In nearly 70 countries, we're saving lives threatened by violence, disease, malnutrition, and catastrophic events. Donors are vital to our mission. Your response is critical to our response in places where few others will go. That's where we operate. Learn more at doctorswithoutborders.org.
Once upon a time, there was a business owner who worked hard and watched his company flourish. Then came the time to sell his company and retire in Palm Beach. But the path to his happily ever after was full of pitfalls and monstrous taxes. Whatever was he to do?
It's not a fairy tale, and the wrong strategy can deprive you of a storybook ending. I'm Marko Mijušković, and I know about business valuation. I'm also a specialist in business exit, asset protection, and estate planning. Visit my website, businessexitplanninghawaii.com, and I promise you'll find more than just a trail of breadcrumbs.
BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com is an online resource designed to help you prepare for the final stage of your business's life cycle. At BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com, you'll have no trouble at all finding workshops, podcasts, videos, articles, and more. Your happily ever after is just a click away at BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com.
Every single year, millions of average Americans like you have their personal lives virtually destroyed. In an instant, you could lose control of your bank accounts, credit cards, and worse, your very reputation can be stolen and violated. If you or a loved one is a victim of identity theft, FastIDRecovery.com can help you get it all back. At FastIDRecovery.com, you can put your trust in experts in the field of credit score restoration, IRS fraud resolution, document and ID replacement, and more. Without a fully managed protection and restoration service like FastIDRecovery.com, it can take hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars to reclaim what identity thieves have stolen and fix the chaos they leave behind. Your peace of mind is as valuable as your assets, and FastIDRecovery.com will get everything back, including your sanity. Relief is a simple click away at FastIDRecovery.com. That's FastIDRecovery.com.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marco Muscovich. If you'd like to speak to Marco, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Miushkovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource weekly, Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., right in the middle of traffic. That's the time when you get some additional knowledge from our guests when we try to pick their brain for 1 hour, try to see how did they start their business, where is this entrepreneurial spirit coming from, and why they're still running the business. Today's guest is Loren Shoop. Loren is the founder of ʻUlu Mana Hawaii. Loren, one more time, what is ʻUlu Mana Hawaii?
ʻUlu Mana Hawaii is a company that makes products out of locally grown breadfruit. We're trying to do products that people are familiar with. Like hummus, that's our number one product. It's called Hawaiian hummus, and we're in stores across Hawaii. And we also make ʻUlu chips, too. So we cut them very thin. We fry them in coconut oil, and we sell those in farmers markets at the moment. And in the future, we'll be in stores. But the product hasn't got that far yet. But, just making – we don't want to make stuff out of breadfruit. That's what we're doing.
So you're maximizing your raw material.
Yep. Yeah, so we want – so why we're doing it basically quickly is because we want to use something that's grown here rather than nothing wrong with garbanzo beans. Totally good. Been making hummus for thousands of years. No problem with it. We're just trying to use
I'm eating it.
Yeah, it's great. So we're just trying to use something that's grown on our soil. We can get it from local farmers. Local people can make money off of it. Everybody makes money. From the farmer makes money. Full circle. All stays right here.
And then cut goes to IRS, and that's what leaves Hawaii.
Yeah. We're good IRS clients. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. So let me ask you this. We're going to go down the memory lane and find out where is this entrepreneurial spirit coming from, and how did you start it with your previous ventures, and how did you end up where you're at right now with ʻUlu Mana Hawaii. So tell me first, where is this entrepreneurial spirit coming from? Because from this quick 20 minutes of conversation, I realized that you are addicted to some additional responsibilities, and that's entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So why don't you tell me, where is this coming from? Is it grandpa? Is it like, who is it? Who is in the family that set you on this path?
Well, I'd say one, I was born with it for a simple, easy answer.
DNA.
DNA. I would say that it's like a pro skateboarder or a pro surfer. I kind of use that is because like John Florence, like he was born on the North Shore. He had pipeline right there. I mean, it's just in his blood to do it. He's just really good at it.
It just grew with him. Part of his growing up.
Yeah. So for me, it's just I want to do this every day. There's just something in me. It's not like I got to prove something, or it's like, oh, my mom told me to do this. It's just I just want to do it. I don't care if you sent me across the world and drop me off somewhere in Africa. I'd probably do the same thing, you know. So it's just in me to do this. So I just wake up and I want to do it every single day. So it's just natural, very natural to me. I will say though that my mom, my dad is definitely like a thought guy, has great ideas, great vision and things like that. And he's created like a lot of smaller products and stuff like that. And then my mom is an extremely hard worker. Where I grew up, she had a catering company my whole life. So she would bring me to catering events for 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day. You know, I would be in the back, like either washing dishes or helping set up, so I learned how to put like simple things like put tablecloths on, how to do the plates. She was really good with flowers, so I learned how to do like displays and flowers and what people like and what they don't like. So a big thing for me is farmers markets, so I'm sure we'll talk here in a second about. But that's where I learned that from my mom. And my mom is a super hard worker. She was just like me. You couldn't tell her no. You couldn't tell her to stop. She'd be working from 6 a.m. to just middle of the night, no problem.
And she was a business owner, or
she was a business owner. Yeah. So I would say this. She wasn't the best business owner, I would say would be the words. I would say she was the hardest worker. Right. She's a very hard worker. Yeah.
Right, and we're going to talk about it. That's interesting. A lot of people, like when they start with the business, they know the trade. They know to either create a product or they know how to make something or do something, but there is a business side of it that not so many people are familiar with.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
And that's I assume that's the stuff where you're talking about a mom.
Yes, so mom, great worker, had the vision, could do this, could do that, but when it comes to like the money part of it, I feel like I got lucky because I got that part too, along with learning her part, what she was good at. So I kind of combined the two, and then learning like the ideas from like my dad, and like so it was all kind of just jumbled together. But luckily, I got like the money aspect of it, where I can kind of see like, okay, we're not going to blow all the money here. We're going to put it there, and then we're going to save some and do this and do that, and kind of put it in certain places. So I kind of got the best of all worlds. I would say I just lucky like that. Yeah.
Perfect. Now tell me how this all started. Take me down the memory lane.
Okay, so when I was 18, like we were talking about earlier, or 18 to 21, I was in San Diego, didn't want to be there. I knew I wanted to come back to Hawaii and start something. Had no idea what it was. At the time, I thought I was going to be a personal trainer. So, food had nothing to do with anything. I'm definitely not a foodie either by any means. I'm not someone that goes to restaurants. I'm not a foodie whatsoever, even though I create food products. But
that's interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was coming back here, and I told my dad, obviously, I'm moving back to Hawaii, and my dad happened to be outside of a grocery store one day on the Big Island, and he was just talking to this guy on the Big Island, and the guy's like, was telling my dad that he flies to Oahu to sell his jams and jellies, and my dad's like, wow, you fly over there to sell your jams and jellies at farmers markets? Like, that's crazy. Like airfare, shipping, all this stuff.
How does it make sense financially, right?
Yeah, so my dad's like blown away. Like, this is crazy. So basically, what my dad says, like, my son, he kind of likes, at the time I had no business, anything, but he's like, he could sell stuff, maybe he could do it for you, because I needed a job, obviously, when I landed on Oahu.
Your dad was looking to find you a job.
Yes, he was looking to find me a job. Yeah, it had nothing more than that. That's all it was. That's all it was. So I flew back to the Big Island for about a month, just to kind of see my family and stuff. And I met this guy, and he showed me, he's a sales guy. He's definitely a sales guy. So he taught me like how to sell, like how to talk to people. Like this was like, when you're at like, at the mall and people are walking by and, hey, try this.
Right.
So kiosk guys. Yeah. So that was like, but we were doing this basically at farmers markets. So it's obviously you're much more approachable there, but he taught me how to talk and sell and, sell items, which I had no background of doing. So that was great. And then, so anyways, I came here to Oahu. He showed me where KCC Farmers Market was, which he was already in. And I started selling the jams for him. And that was it.
Was it worth selling it, those jams and jellies?
We're here today. So yeah, okay, so it's very, very, very much worth it. So, so knowing me, I'm like, I'm going to make this like the Smuckers of Hawaii. I'm going to sell every jam, I can possibly get my hands on.
Up.
Yeah. So I was on a roll. Like it was so cool to me because I had something that I could sell, and I was like, yeah, buy this. And I was effectively known as the jam boy on Oahu for many years, and I still am today. People still know me as that, because if you went to a farmer's market, I was the guy, attacking you with jam samples. Hey, you got to try this, man, lilikoi jam, a little butter. And anyways, so I was doing that. So I started at one farmer's market. We went up to like 12 markets per week. We had a kiosk at Ala Moana Mall for a short period of time. But what was happening is other people from the Big Island were finding out that I was selling all this Big Island product. So then other people from the Big Island were approaching me like, hey, can you help sell our small product? I'm like,
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was
created your own niche.
Yeah. So basically then my business kind of became bringing products from Outer Island to Oahu to sell at farmers markets. And being like the product rep to like stores and stuff. But farmers markets is by far my number. That's where the money came from, like selling stuff. So then I started selling smoked sea salts. I was selling teas, like green tea. I was selling macadamia nuts. I was selling chocolate. I was selling coffee. Like pretty much you name it, like small local product.
So you were running like a little Safeway on your own.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So if you came to a farmer's market, I was the Big Island guy. You could find a bunch of Big Island products there. And still to this day, we still do at least like 9 to 10 markets per week. So that's still like a major business for me. So So anyways, I was selling the jams, and I moved. My next big one was macadamia nuts, and I still sell those today, ʻUlu Farms. And I still sell those at, Hyatt Farmers Markets, KCC, stuff like that. So that was my thing. But I was doing it out of my house. So, I was making money because I had no overhead at all. Like, I was just doing it out of my house. I had a bunch of vans that I luckily could park there. Or not, I'm not sure, but I did anyways.
You didn't ask anybody.
Yeah, so I did that. And then I had, as like a 24-year-old, I wouldn't say I had like money, but I had money to do other things as far as like grow. So I was like, okay, like what do I want to do next? And my idea was to invest in other small companies, but what ended up happening is I started 2 new companies. I started Elite Seafood Company, and I started Oahu Food Hub. So Elite Seafood Company was a company where I bought and built a food truck. So I bought a truck, built it into a food truck to cut fish on. So basically what I did was I would go down to this, I guess where this is where fishing comes into play, but I went down to the docks. I would buy fish from small local fishermen, hand liners, not long line, not from the auction, but from small hand line boats. We'd buy the fish, and I would drive it across the street to my food truck, and you could come down to me, and I'd have a big ice chest, and you could say, hey, Loren, I want a 25-pound ahi, and I'd stick my arm in the fish water and pull one out. I'm like, hey, you want this one? I want that.
Good.
Yeah, but they would never say that. They all want the next one. So I go back down,
It's never the first one.
Yeah, never the first one. Yeah, and then they want the next one. I'm like, okay, great. You want this fish? Yes. So I'd sell it to them, but I would also offer to cut it too. It's like, would you like me to cut the fish? Yes. Okay, $25.
So who bought it? Who usually buys
local,
it? Like end users like me and you?
It was big families. So basically a big local family of like 5 people or 7 people. But yeah, end user. This was strictly to customer. There was no business. Yeah. Right. So basically, a family that wanted to eat fresh fish but didn't want to pay $14 a pound could buy a fish from me for $3.50 a pound or $4 a pound, like ridiculously cheap prices, which is why we're out of business today. But
you told me earlier that you're good with money. What happened?
Yeah.
This was a learning curve.
Yeah, this was, but a learning curve. But it just didn't work because. What happened was these boats were coming in like once a week, or more like a couple times a month. These boats were coming in a couple times a month. It would come in, they blow out a bunch of fish, go out fishing, come back in, blow them all out, and kind of do that. But what happened to us was our issue was my truck was parked on someone's property, which I had to pay rent for all month. And I couldn't really move it. It wasn't like a easily movable vehicle, and like I had my setup and all this stuff. So what happened was I had to pay rent. So then, unfortunately, this was later on, I started going to the auction, buying auction fish, which weren't good for what we were doing because we were buying small fish, not large fish. Because you're not going to want to buy a 300-pound ahi. You're going to want to buy a 20-pound ahi, which is a big difference. So anyways, we basically ran ourselves out of business because we didn't have the fish that the customers wanted. And all the time. And we tried to stay open all the time. What we should have just done was closed up shop and say, hey, see you in 3 weeks or whenever I have fish. I don't know. That would have been, it sounds weird, but that would have been a good idea. And then you
go do something else instead of sitting there for
exactly, and paying rent on a truck that needed to be open. So anyways, there were some issues that, if I knew more at the time. A
learning experience.
Yeah, and I was, pretty young too, so I just...
Didn't care.
Yeah, so it was all good. Lost a few bucks, but it's all good. And then
tax write-off.
Yeah, tax write-off. And then so then immediately at the same time, and sorry, that was a partnered business. So that was a 50-50 LLC business with someone else. And then
you mentioned also Hub at that time that you started.
Exactly. So my other business I started exactly this at the exact same time. It was with a different partner, which we're still partners today. And
knock on wood.
No, yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. And then, so it's called Oahu Food Hub. And then again, at the time I was doing all this stuff out of my house. So, I needed a place to do my MacNut business out of, store things, put my vehicles and all this stuff. And also, if you sell food at farmers markets, you have to do that in a commercial kitchen. If you hold food cold or hot, you have to use a commercial kitchen.
So that's like a pre-requirements to be in a farmer's market.
Yes. So through the Department of Health, you have to go to the Department of Health to get this temporary food permit, which you have to create your products in a commercial kitchen. So I'm like, well, why don't I just make the commercial kitchen? So people will come to me, and then I can make my own products. So I can make my own products, and then hopefully other people using my kitchen can cover my rent, so I can make products for free. And that's basically exactly what happened. But at the time, my partner Matt Johnson, he has Oahu Fresh. It's going strong today, and he wanted a big walk-in refrigerator. So I'm like, perfect. You need a warehouse. I need a warehouse. We both want a kitchen space. We both want fridge space. Let's do it. So we did. We just did it.
Team up.
Yeah, so it's 50-50 LLC. So luckily we found a place. It was like 2,800 square feet, and we just went slowly, and this was all out of our pocket. There was no loan. There was no nothing. It was just
organic.
Or very organic. What do they call it? Like sales? I forget what they call it, but building with profit and stuff. Anyways, so yeah, we just built slowly, and of course I'm out there getting the word out that we have space because I'm in the farmers markets all day, and I'm talking to food trucks, and hey man, you got to come rent from us. We got this kitchen, and you can rent hourly, and you can have your own space or whatnot.
So it's ideal for people actually in the farmers market as well. The other people, not just you. So everybody else who's doing the similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's as far as I'm concerned, no one else is really offering what we're offering. I mean, we have a lot of good things about it. Like it's basically you pay one price and everything's there. You got utilities, you got a forklift to use, you got parking, you got 24/7 access.
So it's not a la carte. Like, hey, I need a forklift. Great, that's like $400 additional.
Sort of, kind of. Yeah. I would say I should take that back. We do have a la carte, like dry storage, cold storage, kitchen time. That's a la carte, but basically at the end of the day, you have one bill, and you're not responsible for your utility bill, your internet bill, your water bill. So, like, as a business owner, all you have to do is pay this one thing instead of paying all these other things. And it's clean. We clean it for you. Well, I mean, you take care of the area, but we have a cleaner that comes in. We have all, Ecolab has all our, sanitation supplies and janitorial stuff. So it's very simple. It's great if you don't know what you're doing, honestly. So if you're like, hey, I have an idea.
So brain free.
Yeah. So yeah. And it's like an incubator. So let's say if you want to make granola or something like that, and you're like, hey, I don't know anything about granola, but there's this kitchen and I can make it and I can go sell it at farmers markets and see if this is even a business. We're great because your investment is extremely, extremely low. I mean, it could not be lower. You just come in, make your products, pay us the, whatever the fee is, and then you go and sell it. And if it works, then hey, you can go and get your own place someday, which has happened multiple times. We've had people come in, started small, and then they moved on and did their thing, and that's awesome. That's great. That's exactly what we want to do.
So you're a stepping stone, pretty much.
We're a stepping stone. Yeah, people don't normally. I would say a majority of the people wouldn't stay at our facility for years, maybe a couple years, but not like 5 years.
Startup.
Like that. Yeah. So, and again, this what happened was then I was able to make my own products, like where the ʻUlu mana came about, making the ʻUlu hummus and the chips and stuff.
Okay, so before you start with that, let's make a quick break, and then we're gonna go and see how this product of yours started within the business that you were running at the time. Today's guest, Loren Shoop. Loren is the founder of ʻUlu Mana Hawaii. You can find him online, ʻulumanahawaii.com. And just tell me quickly, where is the kitchen located?
It's over at 916 Ka'ahi Place, so right off of Dillingham near Costco.
Awesome. Perfect. My name is Marko Miushkovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to continue this interesting conversation with Loren. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Nobody play no funny tricks. Cause what we offer give you real sweet music. This your wonka curry friend. The manka reggae music at the reggae at the bass. Right. You take sugar, you not have none. You drink your coffee black, and I'll have mine white.
760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
The trip east is good to Hawaii Kai, and the rain is not as heavy to the windward side on the Palibilike or the H3.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila. If you like to get your hands dirty working in the yard, you could get a serious, even fatal disease from the tetanus bacteria in your soil. Maybe you wear gloves to help reduce injuries, but you need a routine shot every 10 years to prevent both tetanus and diphtheria, another potentially fatal disease. So get the TD booster shot. If it's been 10, do it again. To learn more, visit the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases at www.nfid.org.
When Dad needed help getting around, I became his driver. Any daughter would do the same. But soon enough, he needed help doing more things, and it was up to me to be his personal shopper and financial manager, too. And before I knew it, Dad moved in with me, so I became his cook, his personal assistant, his physical therapist, and even his nurse. When I started taking care of Dad, I I didn't realize all the roles I'd have to play. But no matter what, I know I'm still his daughter.
We understand the many roles you play. And to help, we created an online caregiving resource center. At aarp.org/caregiving, you can find resources and connect with the caregiving community. Together, we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to learn more. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Every single year, millions of average Americans like you have their personal lives virtually destroyed. In an instant, you could lose control of your bank accounts, credit cards, and worse, your very reputation can be stolen and violated. If you or a loved one is a victim of identity theft, FastIDRecovery.com can help you get it all back. At FastIDRecovery.com, you can put your trust in experts in the field of credit score restoration, IRS fraud resolution, document and ID replacement, and more. Without a fully managed protection and restoration service like FastIDRecovery.com, it can take hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars to reclaim what identity thieves have stolen and fix the chaos they leave behind. Your peace of mind is as valuable as your assets, and FastIDRecovery.com will get everything back, including your sanity. Relief is a simple click away at FastIDRecovery.com. That's FastIDRecovery.com.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marco Muscovich. If you'd like to speak to Marco, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the outer islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marco Muscovich, Senior Partner, Wealth Strategy Partners. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource every week, Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., 760 KGU AM or 95.1 FM. You can also find us online, hawaiimoneyresource.com, or you can find us also at businessexitplanninghawaii.com. You can stream live and listen to on your computer or your phone. Today's guest is Loren Shoop, founder of ʻUlu Hawaii. ʻUluMana.com is the website. We were talking about Loren has two businesses. One is Kitchen Hub, right?
Yeah, Oahu Food Hub.
Oahu Food Hub. Yeah. And the second one is actually Hawaiian hummus.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about a hub. Now let's talk about hummus.
Yep. All right. So kind of from the beginning, just me being me, I'm always seeing what other people are up to, what the trends are, what's going on, what's in stores. So, just, about 3-4 years ago, I was just walking around, probably 4 years ago, I was walking around like a Safeway or something, Foodland, just, seeing what's going on. And it kind of blew my mind that no one in Hawaii was manufacturing commercial hummus. And I was just like, what? Like,
what do you mean commercial hummus?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, when you go to the store, no one sells hummus made in Hawaii.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so if you go to like a restaurant or if you go to like a mom and pop store or like a Whole Foods, yeah, they'll have their own brand that they may have made in house. But if you go to Safeway, Foodland, Costco, no one in Hawaii makes hummus. And I'm like, wow.
How did you identify that? It's like so many products out there. Like, how did you pinpoint that?
That's what I'm telling you, man. I don't have a good balance. This is my balance. It's just business, and that's what I think about all day. So it's
pinpoint the hummus.
Yeah. Well, I'm just staring at like the salsas and guacamole and hummus section. I'm like, okay, there's a local guacamole, there's a local salsa, but where's the local hummus? I'm like, aha, a niche. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's exactly what happened. And again, I was doing things at farmers market. So of course I got to make it local, right? So, I started with local sweet potatoes. I was using local mushrooms. I was using local like habaneros or, peppers and stuff, and making like pineapple habanero hummus. And I made beet hummus, and I made all these different types of hummuses. And the way I would make them are definitely different than what you're going to find in a store too, because I just blended up everything. So that's why when you look at my beets, it's this really dark red, because I just threw in a bunch of beets. I didn't throw in like a slice or two. It was like half the dang thing was beets. So
Different colors.
Yeah. So again, this was out of garbanzo beans though, and then I would just at this point I would just give it to my friends and family. I'm like, hey, do you like this? Like, was it too chunky? Is it taste good? Like, do you care? You know, like just seeing if people liked it, and of course, you know, people started to like it, and I thought it was pretty cool too. And I threw like turmeric in a couple, and I was experimenting, but I never sold any. It was just strictly friends, family, whatever. And then I kind of just sat on the idea and played with it. And then I've always wanted to do products. I've always wanted to do stuff with breadfruit too. I didn't know what I was going to do with breadfruit, but I've always wanted to work with breadfruit for like years now. And it is like a new, like, I don't know if I want to say trend, but
up and coming.
Yeah, up and coming right now. So it's so I've always wanted to work with it, and like. And then I went to this farm up in Mililani, and they had this big get-together because there's this breadfruit crop that was available, and they're kind of, in my eyes, what they were saying is like, hey, we got a bunch of breadfruit.
Come and get it.
Yep, exactly. So that was my take on it, and I met a lady from Big Island. I started selling her. She has the ʻUlu co-op on the Big Island. She started that, and she was selling frozen steamed hummus. Frozen steamed breadfruit. So you could take the breadfruit home, make it into whatever you wanted to make, or just eat it as is, whatever you want to do with it. So I was selling that for a short period of time, and then she gave me the idea to put the two together. So I was already making the hummus, and she had the breadfruit, and she gave me the idea or the thought process, I should say, to make the ʻUlu hummus. And she gave me like a recipe, and I'm like, oh man, this is perfect for what I was just doing over here. You know, I cannot be more local than this. So then I just went for it. I used the breadfruit, and I mixed it with all the flavorings I was doing before, like the beets, turmeric, sweet potato, sun-dried tomato,
and tastes
jalapeno. Good. And it was, I distinctly remember the exact moment that I added, because I made the recipe she gave me, and then I added the turmeric in, which I was using before, and it was just one of those light bulb moments. This is it. This is it right here. It's figured out. Got it. You know, so I remember the light bulb moment. I can remember it very clearly, which I made in the Food Hub, which is great because that's, you know, another
your
reason.
Business too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I built that thing, to do stuff like this. So it all kind of worked out. And then I started rolling again with all the other flavors I was doing, and then I did that for about a year. Probably end of 2016 to the middle of 2017, I was experimenting, or not experimenting, I was selling at farmers markets. So the good thing about farmers markets is I get to test products.
And how did it go?
I sold them all, you know.
Because it's one thing is like now you have a product, now you need to packaging, you need to label it. Like,
so I was selling just as much, if not more, unlabeled per se, than I am today, because it was such a new, good product. People are just like, yep, I'll buy 5, or I'll buy 3. I don't care.
They don't care about the packaging.
Awesome. Yeah, no packaging. Forget packaging. Didn't even do that. And it would just sell like crazy. Or not crazy. You know, it sold. So I was like, well, people like it, you know, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to get labels. And then I went to one of the best design companies I could find on the island, and they absolutely nailed exactly what I wanted. Very colorful, very Hawaiian. And yeah, they totally nailed the packaging, and I was very happy with that. And then we started getting into stores, and I don't know if I'm rushing or anything, but I mean, there's a lot to it. You got to find the breadfruit. Where am I going to get all this breadfruit from? A lot of different things. But anyways, we started selling to stores. I went to Kokua Market. You know, they accepted it, got it in there, and that's our best store to this day, Kokua Market. Yeah, we sell more in there. I mean, it's my demographic. You know, healthy eaters. They like the local aspect of it. And it's a good price, so they really like it. Then we were in Down to Earth, Time Supermarkets, Tamura's.
How many different? I'm checking on your website right now. So you have like.
You can check out the Instagram. Instagram's really good too. But we have four flavors that I make daily. We don't really do the sun-dried tomato one anymore. I thought the recipe wasn't perfect, so I didn't want to put that out there. But we do sun-dried tomato. We do sweet potato, beets, turmeric.
Jalapeno.
And jalapeno, yeah, those are 4 flavors.
So which one is the best seller?
Turmeric, because of the name. Actually, well, the flavor too, because everyone likes it as well. But turmeric, when you just see like, oh, that's healthy, it's good for inflammation, it's a super food and all this, so it tends to sell the best, just because of the name, yeah. But I mean, if you try it too, it's...
So from the business point of view, great, you created a product, you have your distribution centers developed, you have distribution network developed, you have a facility. What is the missing piece? Is there any missing piece?
More breadfruit.
So raw material.
I literally cannot get my hands on enough breadfruit, period.
How come? Like how much?
So this is the thing. So all across the world, as far as I know, everyone has like a tree in their backyard. So like Jamaica's got it, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, all of Samoa, Tahiti, Pacific Islands, Brazil. Everyone's got breadfruit. That's cool. As far as I know, no one has like commercial farms of breadfruit. When you have a row of trees, they're topped at a certain height, like 12 to 15 feet, so you can pick them. Nobody has that. So I can't call up some guy anywhere and be like, hey, give me 100,000 pounds of fruit. Give me 20,000 pounds of fruit.
So you're saying it's all over the place, but it's just not
farmed.
Farmed.
I'm not going to call 4,000 people to ask them for their one tree and their couple fruit in the backyard. So it's,
you're doing your weekly route, going around the neighborhood collecting the bread.
Yeah, so everyone's like, man, there's so much bread from. Like, yeah, there's a lot of trees, but how am I going to collect all that from all these different people?
So where are you getting it right now?
There's two major farms I get from. One is up in the Mililani area. One is over in Kaneohe, and that's the vast majority of it. Yeah.
So is anybody else using it for any other purposes?
Well, like I was talking to the lady, the ʻUlu co-op, they're on the Big Island, and they get far more than me. And they sell to like schools, but they sell to like institutions, like schools and stuff like that.
So they're getting their stuff on the Big Island.
Yes.
And for you to get on the Big Island is not financially.
I mean, one, I got to ship it, and there's just a lot of. I mean, I could.
Yeah, is it more breadfruit over there?
Today, yeah. But they have, again, what their system is a lot of little farms. That's great, and I want to do that too, but I think the way of the future, per se, would be like more like a big crop. You have lots of land, trees in a straight line. You grow the trees.
What is the turnaround? What is the life cycle?
For 3 years, you're getting fruit. 5 years, you're getting a serious amount of fruit, and then I think, I'm not exactly sure, but let's say like 30, 40 years they can live, I believe. I'm not 100% on that.
So there you go. New idea for someone out there listening. Let's create a breadfruit
guaranteed
farm.
Contracts. You grow the fruit, I'll guarantee you'd buy it at a certain price for sure. And we can sign a contract today.
Yeah. How big is the fruit?
Well, that's the thing. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's so small you can't use it. I'm like, nah, I can use that thing because it depends when it's mature or ripe. So it basically goes immature, mature, ripe. Immature, can't use. No one can really use it. It's when it's like really dark green. The stem is dark green. And also I want the Ma'afala variety. That's the best variety for us to use. And it grows very easily, easy to pick, easy to manage. And then so from immature goes to mature, and that's what we want, where it gets. I just did a piece on KHN2 last week, and where I showed on TV where it's like a yellow color to it with the white sap on the outside, and that's what we're looking for. And then there's ripe, which is past what we need.
Hold on, the real reason you did that, you were actually trying for people to see it, and they call you with more supplies. I got you. Most wanted one. This is the one you want. We pay good bucks.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Sounds good.
I want to get. I mean, like again, I want everyone to get money per se from this. I'm not trying to be greedy and be like, no, I'm going to buy it for 2 cents, and
So what is the potential for this?
I mean,
financial potential
for like someone that has a tree. I mean,
no. For you, with your business as is right now, what is the financial? Do you see that you're going to top off in one point with the amount of volume that you can sell, and then like should you look for another product that you can develop and sell? Because right now you are two.
Yeah. Well, I would say the breadfruit as a gluten-free product with minerals in it and good fiber, and it's a good alternative to a lot of foods. It grows, it's seasonal, but it grows pretty much anywhere. It's a very hardy tree. You get a lot of fruit from a tree. They grow fast. It doesn't take a lot of water. So in that sense, yes, I would like to take breadfruit across the world as far as like a farm sustainable crop where we can make flour out of it, chips out of it. We can steam it, and I can do this in Puerto Rico and then, take it over to Florida and sell from there, and things like that. But as far as the Hawaiian hummus product, I believe I can sell that, we're not even slightly close to saturating Hawaii. So number one, saturate Hawaii. 3 to 5 years, get it out to like the West Coast. Maybe within 3 years, get it to like the West Coast, and get it at specialty stores like Whole Foods type places.
How hard is to get in one of those?
Whole Foods, the way it is today, with the Food Safety Modernization Act, is I wouldn't say impossible, but you really got to have your ducks in a row. You can't just be making things, and this is for food manufacturers, so not restaurants. These are food people that make food, sell it wholesale to other places. Meats and stuff, that's crazy. Would never want to deal with meat. But with stuff I do, it's very hard. You have to have third-party audits. You have to have temperature logs all day long. You have to have GMPs, like good manufacturing practices, like cut your hair, wear the sleeves, do the gloves, get the stuff off the bottom of your shoes. Like, it's crazy. So,
but it's doable.
Well, I mean, yeah, people are doing it. But all the people that are in Whole Foods now, or I assume the majority, haven't got up to speed with what they want today. So new people like me that knock on their doors today, it's not saying it's impossible at all, but it's just hard to do with a small budget, and you have to have the right facility to do it.
So I guess in a growing curve, you're not there yet.
I need more fruit. With more fruit, then I can get investment with, get more money, have the right plant, get the contracts, get into Whole Foods and Costco and, across the nation and stuff. So without more fruit, I can't do anything. So more fruit means I can have investors, because I know I can take this fruit and make it into money. I just need the fruit. So fruit first. So contracts with farmers, getting more land, more trees.
So that's a good point. What we're talking about, like you mentioning that there's a lot of cross contamination stuff that need to be eliminated in order for you to produce the food and sell it to the end users. Where do you see yourself in the future? Do you see yourself like pounding the breadfruit and trying to get more out of it, or figure it out the way how to get more, or like how you gonna solve the problem?
Okay, so
because you have a volume that you can do right now, and you're capped.
First of all, I'd say I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Like I'm not a foodie. I love breadfruit and I really want to promote it, but I'm not married to it per se. But I know I shouldn't say that.
So I
want to take this thing all
else.
the way. I want to take this thing all the way.
Okay.
But knowing my past, I've been very kind of like all over the place. But no, this one I want to take all the way. So what I see is in 1 year, next season, so like next July, August, I want a facility that can process, a certain amount of ʻUlu that I think we can get within the next 3 years, and build a facility to process that, maybe processing a couple other foods that I have in mind. But basically, breadfruit. I want to be the breadfruit processing facility of the Pacific. So if Samoa, Tahiti, all these people want breadfruit to be processed, they call me up, the fruit gets shipped here, refrigerated, and we can process it for them into flour, fried products, steamed products. So that's number one. Get that. Once we have the idea down and we know what the hell we're doing, then we can take this across the globe per se to like maybe Puerto Rico or Costa Rica, something like that, where you can get farms, contracts.
Is there
with
any
farmers.
farms in the world?
I don't know, but that, as far as I know today, no. I'm sure there is like one or two, but nothing that I've personally heard of. I'm sure there is. If anyone knows, please give me a call. But I personally don't know. I know in Jamaica everyone has one in their backyard, but I don't know.
Okay, so we skip one break, so we're gonna straight to our 3 questions on the end. We have like probably 3 minutes left. Yeah, 3 minutes left. So the first question is like, what is the ultimate vision? We talked a little bit about it, but
ultimate vision would be to have breadfruit as a product where you walk into a grocery store in Minneapolis and hey, there's breadfruit on the shelf, whether it be breadfruit flour or some kind of a breadfruit, but it's a staple product that people can live off of. Farmers can make money. Everyone kind of makes money, and I don't see why not. And it's a healthy product, has fiber in it. It's better than like rice and things like that. Not as cheap, but it's healthier for you.
Yeah, I didn't ask you like what is the cost? How many breadfruits you need to make one package of hummus?
Some secrets there.
Okay.
What
is the cost? Like, what is the raw material cost?
Raw materials anywhere from like $1 to like $1.50.
And how much do the end products cost?
I sell at the store at $6.99. So basically $7 for one hummus. So it makes money. Everyone makes money. The farmer makes money. We can make enough money to survive, and we want to bring the price down. We want to bring it a lower price so people can buy it.
And that's you can get with the farm and
So I don't want to have a really high price on. That's not my goal. My goal is to have a sustainable food everybody can buy and do volume.
Okay, we have like 60 seconds left. Actually, 2 minutes left. Okay. And second question is, what's your exit out of this?
I would say I shouldn't say this, but I don't really have an exit at this point. It's one of those things where it could say small. I just make hummus in Hawaii. That's cool. Have a good day. Sell it to someone that wants to do it, and I go do something else. But honestly, I think breadfruit is something I could take across the globe and sell to like people like C.H. Robinson, where they can distribute it across the world like fruits and veggies. So that would be big, which obviously that's like a 25 year deal. So I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So I don't, at this point, I just want to build it absolutely like a massive scale. I don't see it being small.
Well, like you said, you want to take it all the way home. Like you want to cover all the steps and potentially sell it or take it to the next level and go international.
Yeah, I'd rather take it to the next level.
Okay, so last question for today is like, what is the word of wisdom for someone who want to, the entrepreneur, they want to start doing something, they want to be their own boss, they want to create something, sell something. What is your word of wisdom?
You got to be dedicated 100%. You can't just roll into this and be like, I've seen a lot of people at the farmers markets do this, like, I'm going to go sell this. And that just doesn't work. You have to be fully behind it. Like I said myself, I just kind of lucked out. How I say is like, I just love doing it, but that's the way you got to be about it. If you really want to, do something, you have your own business, work for yourself. It's not a 9-to-5 job. That could be
all
farther
the time.
from it. It's all 24/7, 365.
At least in the beginning.
At least the beginning, yeah. When you can, have people under you and stuff like that. Yeah, you spend 5 years, 365, but after that, maybe you can have someone work
relax.
For you. Yeah.
Loren, thank you so much for being guest at Hawaii Money Resource.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Loren Shoop, founder of ʻUlu Mana Hawaii, ʻulumanahawaii.com. My name is Marko Miushkovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Living Balance Sheet and the Living Balance Sheet logo are registered service marks of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. The graphics and text used herein are the exclusive property of Guardian and protected under U.S. and international copyright laws. Copyright 2005 to 2011. The Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations. Marko Miushkovic is a registered representative and financial advisor for Park Avenue Securities, LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products, services, and advisory services are offered through Park Avenue Securities, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. Financial representative, the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. Park Avenue Securities is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Wealth Strategy Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Park Avenue Securities or the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Park Avenue Securities is a member FINRA SIPC.